Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for supporting our channel. I am glad there are people who come in to check every day. Asanteni sana. Now, there is something that is happening at IBC, and Ledama Kina, who is the Narok senator, is delivering Raila's message to Wafula Chebukati. IBC is the custodian of this election, and it is the body that is going to take charge of the ballot papers. So this is a very critical link to a free and fair election. There was a row that emerged, I think, over the week. It was, I think, on Tuesday, about the appointments of returning officers. I think it is redeployment of returning officers in preparation to the August 9th general election.
There is a row regarding the returning officers. Now, this is a controversy. There are disgruntled commissioners who are accusing Chebukati and CEO of posting key officials to oversee elections in 290 constituencies without consultations, but chairman says everything was done according to the law. And this story is on page 4 and 5. Done according to the law, yes, but these commissioners were not in the loop completely. They continue to say that they're learning about this returning officers' deployment from media.
So when that came out, it was the new commissioners that were appointed by IBC were complaining that they had been sidelined in that process of in that process of deployment of the returning officers. For clarity, returning officers are permanent employees of IBC, and they are recruited through a merit-based process. So that means they apply, they go through the interview, then the best candidate gets the position. So these are permanent employees. The presiding officers and the clerks are not permanent. These ones are they just appointed during elections on short-term contracts. But then it is the role of IBC to deploy them. Then what normally happens is, because they normally don't like, they are in charge of, returning officers are in charge of the results at the constituency level. And there is also county returning officers who are in charge of the county, and deputy ROs. Deputy ROs are just taking the roles of returning officer in case of any eventuality, or the roles that have been given to them. Now, there are, if you remember very well, last year, before the mass voter registration, President Uhuru Kenyatta gazetted the 4 names of new commissioners that replaced the other commissioners that left after the 2017 general election. The ones that left were Nkatha Maina, Margaret Mwachanya, and Paul Turgat. Then President gazetted on 21st September last year Juliana Charera, Francis Wanderi, Irene Masit, Justus Obonyo. These 4 joined the IBC. Then after that, I think this year, because it is the commission that appoints the secretary, which is the head of secretariat, Marjan was appointed as the CEO. So for Marjan to be appointed first, the commission had to be full, because IBC operates in two levels. There is commission and there is the secretariat. So secretariat is led by the chief executive officer, who is the CEO of IBC. That is the role, that is the position that Chiloba was in. Then the chairman of IBC oversees at the commission level. But again, the 2 levels are coordinating. But the body that runs the day-to-day activities of IBC is the secretariat. Now, what happened? The 4 commissioners complained that redeployment of the returning officers, they were sidelined, and it was only Wafula Chebukati and the new CEO that sat and agreed on how it was going to be done. What they're saying, what they were saying is, even though that is an operation, it is more of an operational role of the IEBC, but the commissioners are saying, according to their mandate, that they were supposed to have to be in a plenary meeting, boardroom plenary meeting, both all the commissioners, Wafula Chebukati, and the CEO. But that did not happen. Even though Wafula Chebukati later came over to say that there were no divisions, and of course, that was a prerogative role of the CEO. So that happened, I think, on Tuesday. Then yesterday night, that was the 7th of April, Ledama Kina raised this issue. And then this is why I realized that, of course, there is more than what catches the eye. If you look at his Twitter page, he says, returning officers drama unfolding. Will not allow those inclined to favor particular formations at IBC who must be consulted as candidates. Now, this is something that Ledama Kina is posting. I want to believe, one, that Ledama Kina is not just speaking on his position. Because I'll tell you something that happened about this issue. Ledama Kina is simply delivering a message from Raila Odinga, who is a key political player in this country. And I know you can ask me why I'm making that conclusion. Let me tell you what is next. In the 2012 Elections Act that was amended in 2016, the IEBC are supposed to consult political parties. Actually, they're supposed to notify political parties of this, of the appointments of ROs, then receive feedbacks from these political parties before they are gazetted. Now, this is what happened before they are appointed. Now, this is what happened. On 1st April of this year, Anderetu, who is the director of ORPP, shared the names and the appointments to the political parties from IBC. Actually, the ORPP is the link between political parties and IBC. So that was done on first. According to the law, the IBC are supposed to receive feedbacks within 14 days. So if this appointment was to be done, it was to be done after 14 days. Today is date 8 when I'm analyzing this. So the 14 days lapse is around 15th of April. And that is why Ledama Kina team are raising this. I wanted to get it interestingly. And the reason why this is said is that is supposed to be done so that political parties are also involved. They know what exactly is happening. You might be asking, where are the ROs really a key? Where are political parties taking key interest on ROs? Let me tell you, according to the law, the results that are transmitted to the IEBC from the returning officer is in charge of the constituency. Those results are final. And get this, you can only challenge this through a court petition. This is how critical it is. If a returning officer declares someone, the constituency as an MP, wins that an MP has won, those results can only be challenged by a court petition. So you cannot underestimate this appointment. This is why even the law stipulated it very critical that the political parties had to be engaged. Ledama Kina is a key ally of Raila Odinga. That is one thing, and ODM party. So what is happening here is, of course, there are deliberations behind the scenes, because this tweet was done yesterday, and it is just trying to blow out. I think by the time, if it is not going to be handled, it is going to blow out. And I read an article, I think, by Gabriel Mukele. Gabriel Mukele was a former commissioner of IEBC in the 2007, if you remember, the bungled elections. He was a former commissioner, and in that article, he was actually telling the commission that they need to fix this mess before it splits, it actually comes out in the political space, because it is going to be used against them. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what is happening. The issue of the returning officers if you read this tweet, it's not about the candidates. The people that are supposed to be consulted are the political parties. The document was sent to them on 1st April. The law says after 14 days. So if it is the appointment has already been done, that means that somehow the political parties' view have not been included there. Not all of them. Wow. I hope you understand up to that level, because I want to explain for you why this is now becoming a worry to the political players, or directly this is a worry to Raila Odinga. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel, and also from wherever you are, we also find it comfortable to click the notification bell. I do a well-researched and investigated and fact-checked analysis. That one is my cutting edge, so I can assure you, I can surely confirm to you that you need to be here today is to make sure that you'll be receiving our analysis. Let's look at why this is happening. That what is being manifested in this situation is that there are emerging divisions within IEBC. And by the way, I don't know what is the tradition of our elections, because a few months to general elections, I don't know, just in the run-up to general election, I don't know whether this is normally orchestrated by the political players or it's at the appointment level or what happens, but somehow there are normally cracks within that commission. That commission can never be united. Remember 2017, there was a team that was the Akombe, and that Akombe's team was more inclined towards NASA, and some others were inclined towards government. Even 2017, it manifested very ugly because Wafula Chebukati was parallel with the then CEO Ezra Chiloba. Remember, after the 2017 general elections, Wafula Chebukati gave Chiloba, I think, some few hours to explain about that bungled elections and about the servers. And by that time, NASA had gone to court challenging, asking the Supreme Court to do that. Then Wafula Ezra Chiloba, who was in charge of the operations, actually took 7 days to even explain. So what I don't normally understand is why normally these cracks emerge. But again, the answer might be as straight as competitive interests. Now, these divisions are a big worry to Raila, and I think they should even worry Ruto, because sometimes decisions are made there with majority. So if people are divided, like I want to understand that the 4 commissioners that were injected in joined at, I think, I don't know whether they are 7 or now they are, I don't know how, I think 6 or 7. Then you realize that you don't have the majority. It means the person that has the majority can always have his way. That is why these cracks are being emerging. And I want to believe that the commissioner, because the commissioner, this story was published by People Daily, the person, one of the people from the commission who leaked this information to the media is someone who is disgruntled. And so he's just letting the political players understand what is happening at IBC. Number 2, the issue of returning officers can be a ground on an election petition. Let me remind you. Remember, in the run-up to the rerun of the 2017, there was a High Court petition by, it was actually, that case was being had by Jojo Dunga. If you do your research well, you'll find it. It was done by, the IBC was, I think, petitioned by Muslims Human Rights Council, some group there, to challenge on appointment of ROs. And Judge Odunga actually suspended that process, saying that IBC breached the law even in that appointment. And if did not take the intervention of the Court of Appeal, even that rerun wouldn't have been done. Remember, after that, between August and October, there are a lot of petitions. And one of the petitions was this. So this issue needs to be addressed, because someone might wait for results, and this one because I was talking to a lawyer, what exactly would this portray? Someone might wait for the results. When the results are out, then when it goes to Supreme Court, he uses this cloud to actually point out that IBC broke the law. So is it by design? This is why it's worrying. Now, some 3, I think this returning officers sometimes are also very bipartisan. Our politics is local, our politics is ethnic. But again, the truth of the matter here is the ROs, like I've also worked at IBC. I will not reveal at what stage, but I was part of an election process in 2017. I participated beta. So you will actually find out that some ROs are normally bipartisan, and that is what is worrying Ledama and Kina. And this can really work against such candidates because, let's face it, Ledama Kina is vying for Narok Senate. So the person that is going to declare his candidature win or lose is county returning officer. It means that ROs that are sent there are having worry. Number 4, the question that I also ask, and that is what I want you to also figure out, why the haste? Are there some loose ends that IBC, the timelines running against IBC, that they are really making sure this can be done? Are there some timelines that they are facing? Because why can't they just wait up to for the 14 days to lapse? Then after that, they are going to make sure that the list is out, because that is what is exactly worrying these political players. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my analysis. But I want to remind you of something very critical. I don't know, you stay in Nairobi and you stay a place where there are frequent blackouts. What you need to figure out is a power backup, a power backup. And what you need is, whether you're running a school, in your home or in your office and your residential place, they are amazing packages for you. Check out at the Instalight. These guys are amazing, and they have this product that I can customize all the way from 125,000 to 195,000, depending on what exactly suits your need. Check out this poster here, and you can also get to their contacts at 0722818883. And of course, make it clear that you have received this from Kevin Oduwan.